You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now, or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
What?
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, we got dance at the Space Jam. Alright.
Welcome to the Slam Jamathon. Just kidding. The Space Jamathon episode of the It Takes All Kinds podcast. This is episode 20. We are recording this just after watching Space Jam 2 in theaters on July 19th. And you will be hearing this on July 23rd or 22nd.
That's right, Gavin. We did just watch both Space Jams.
We made it. It is an extraordinary privilege to have spent almost 3 hours of my life watching basketball players play with Looney Tunes.
And Gavin, I wouldn't have done it with anybody else.
Yeah, me neither. I literally don't think I could have done it with anybody else.
I think I would have killed myself if I had to.
Yeah, keep talking.
What do you want me to talk about? Space Jam's such a beautiful called it.
Yeah. He said it definitely wasn't one of those Marvel Disney rides or some shit.
No, sirree, it wasn't. So as Gavin said, we just watched Space Jam 1996 and then just got back from
Space Jam 2021.
a new Legenstein.
Which AMC was handing out old cups from like
Yeah, that was
pre-pandemic. I was getting I got Top Gun Maverick.
I did too.
We both
Yeah,
got Top
yeah,
Gun
yeah.
Maverick cups. That was supposed to come out in June 2020.
Did that movie ever come out?
I think it did. It had to have.
I think it did.
But yeah.
I don't remember because why would I have seen that? It's not a Martin Scorsese film. Why would I have seen it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm debating pulling it out and stopping the podcast. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break, folks. All right, guys, sorry about that. We're having audio issues once again. So thank you, Gavin. So I'm gonna keep an eagle eye on this fucking thing, and if it starts doing it again, I'm sorry because it'll probably have some little like weird kind of jump cut out parts. But if it starts doing it again, I'll contact somebody and I'll give them my business.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't work, I'll buy a new card, but hopefully it'll work.
Just buy a new card.
Well, because I can't buy it right now. Well, I just want to see what happens. I don't know why it's being funny like that. Oh. So Gavin and I watched Space Jam at the theater, and when we got back, we both buried deep onto the porcelain thrones.
Yep.
Because I had a lot of buttery popcorn, and that just goes right through me. Let me tell you something. Oh, there it is. Kind of sounds like that when it comes out too. Feels like
I
those.
had
Bunch of crunch.
I had bunch of crunch.
Gunch.
And a large soda.
I had a large icy, which also goes right through me. It's like the perfect vessel for the buttery corn.
It really is. It's like a.
It congeals in the dish.
Yeah.
You know, like the butter machines? That's kind of what it is like coming out of my anus. So, what we're going to be doing today, since we just watched both Space Jams and we've been teasing this up with LeBron James and Michael Jordans. We are going to be talking and going in depth on a review, on an overview of both Space Jam movies, how they connect, how the new one was, and all that. We're getting paid by Warner Brothers to do this, so thank you, Warner Brothers.
Thank you, Warner Brothers.
This opportunity.
And I don't know if you know this, but the movie was made by Warner Brothers.
Oh, shit, it was. Oh, that would
Yeah.
make sense why they're sponsoring us.
Yeah.
Guys, let's cut to an ad by Warner Brothers, huh?
Yeah.
That's Marvin the Martian's gun, actually.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So,
So, did you want to start out with Space Jam?
No, I was just teeing it up real quick.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we're going to be going in depth into that. But before we do that, we're going to do our normal stuff and just kind of talk about our weeks. I have some stories to tell Gavin. I've told him one of them, and I'm going to keep one of them short. Well, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can. And then I have another one that I haven't told him yet. And then Gavin's going to talk about how he's doing, if he has any stories.
I do actually have a couple stories.
Oh, shit. And then after that, we'll go into our overview of Space Jam and all of that, which I know everybody has been anticipating. So, obviously,
Dedicated.
dedicated.
You guys
I think that thumbnail roped people in because it was just me by myself with my hand over my eyes, and I think that got people.
I thought it was going to be, honestly, I thought it was going to be me up in the camera whenever I did that.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I thought it was going to be me.
I just saw the picture of just me like this, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's kind of good.
Yeah. And the chair was faced this way. It was perfect.
It was, yeah. It just
Yeah.
looked like you had got up and ran
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I
So-
should have called it like Gavin leaves.
Yeah.
Gavin's
Or,
no longer on the show.
Gavin's leaving, ...
Gavin's last episode, ...
Yeah.
Gavin, how was your week? What stories do you have to tell me?
Okay, so
You mother.
this was Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. Or was it Friday? It was Friday. Friday night.
Let's go with Friday.
Friday night, 15 minutes before close. I'm at CVS.
Okay.
Yeah, medications?
And again. I don't know. Fuck it. We'll keep running. It just might be a little jump cutty, but that's fine. We're just going to run with it. We'll see what it looks like in the edit, and then we'll go from there. There's nothing I can do about it now, though. What were you saying? Just it'll be fine.
Okay.
It just might be jumpy.
So should I talk to the camera then?
No, I'm not taking the camera audio. It's just going to sound kind of jumpy at some points, but that's fine.
Okay.
Ugh.
So lady comes to the drive-thru and she's like, "Hi, I'm picking up some meds." I'm like, "All right, let me get the name, date of birth, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "I don't see anything here for him." And she's like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "I called up here and they said it'd be ready by 1:00." And I'm like, I don't see anything. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, I checked on the computer and stuff like that. And then I went back and checked again. And I went back out to tell her, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not seeing anything. And she's like, well, they told me that it was going to be, I called up here and they said it was going to be ready by 1:00. And I'm like,
You've said that already.
I was like, so did you talk to anybody? She's like, yeah, I talked to your automated system. I did the RX thing. I put in the RX number and whatnot. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, this happened last month too. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, yeah, let me go check that real quick. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird that it's just that his medication's just kind of put on hold. So I'm like, let me just go like try and fill it. And then I'm like, oh, we're out of it. Like completely out of it. We had zero
Oh, I see.
for anything. And I'm like, well, all right, I guess I'm going to have to tell her. So I'm like, all right, so we don't have any. I was like, I don't have any here. I was like, I'm sorry, but like we just don't have any here. And she was like, well, you guys told me it'd be ready by 1:00. I'm like, I didn't say it'd be ready by 1:00.
Yeah.
I was like, so it didn't work last month and it didn't work this month. Clearly that's not going to work anymore. I was like, call in 2 days before you need the medication refilled, or by the time you need it refilled, and we should be able to do that for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I'm not getting another shipment in until Monday or Tuesday, which would have been today or tomorrow, especially for a narcotic. And
Wait. I wanted to ask you what it was, but I don't know if that's...
I have it. Yeah, it was like a.
Oh, is it Adderall?
Yeah. No.
If you don't,
I think it
if
is.
if you can't say what
No,
it is, don't.
no. I think the medication was Adderall.
And what was her name?
Yeah, and her date of birth.
And her address. And her
Yeah.
social.
So I'm like, okay. She's like, she's like, so what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, well, I think it just texted you to let you know that we're out of stock of it. And she's like, well, how does that help me? I'm like, it doesn't. I'm like, I know it doesn't. I was like, I'm just saying that that it is a stupid system. I'm just showing you that it's not gonna help you. And she's like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Do you just want my son to go without his medication for 2 days? And I'm like,
Why would you wait till the last second to fill the prescription anyways?
well, that's what I'm thinking in my head the whole time, but
Yeah.
I can't say that. So anyway, don't. I was like, a partial can't fill it. I was like, I don't have any. I was like, I would try and give you a partial fill or something to hold you over until then, but we literally do not have any here. And she was like, she's like, well, pardon me, but your system is fucked up. And I'm like, I know. Oh, I know.
Is that what you said to her?
Yeah, I said, I know. I was like, it's out of my control. She's like, so what do you want me to do then? I'm like, well, you could call your doctor's office or call a doctor's office and have them see if they can write an emergency fill for it. And we could call it into you would have to write a prescription to another location because that's how control medications work in Missouri. And she's like, but my doctor's office is closed on Saturday and Sunday. I'm like, I know. I was like, I can't.
Oh, you said it was on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, I know. I was like, I'm sorry, but I just can't do anything. And then she's like, let me talk to the pharmacist. And I'm like, she wants to talk to the pharmacist. So the pharmacist is a floater, and she's not there all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So she was like, yeah. So basically, they do have. She was like, yeah. So what I would recommend is you calling the doctor's office, and they have a doctor on call. That I'm sure that they can write a prescription for another location if they have it, because we can't just transfer over that medication.
That's what I was going to ask. I didn't know if you
yeah,
could
we
transfer
can't. We can't just transfer that over.
Interesting.
Yeah, the
That's-
doctor has to write a new prescription for a new location.
Okay.
Because they keep track of that.
Yeah.
Like the state of Missouri keeps track of that. So, okay. All right. So, patient can't help her. I was like, I can't do it. And so then, so the pharmacist gives the patient a number, and she's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, and then the pharmacist is like, "That's the pharmacy manager's number," and she's like, "Y'all are so rude," and like left.
Didn't she ask you for the number?
So that was one of them. That was one of them this
so
week.
she's just blaming your
Blaming
her
blaming
lack
her
of-
issues
yeah.
and on us.
That
because,
sounds about right.
Yeah, and our
Ain't that
system-
America?
Yeah. Ain't that America? All of the free. So, and then on Tuesday, I tried doing a similar thing. So, this lady comes in to pick up medication for her dog,
Oh, for
which I'm pretty sure is like anti-anxiety meds or something like that, or sleeping meds for the dog. Not kidding.
okay.
Because they can take
Michael
that.
Jackson's cocktail for dogs.
And so I told her the price is like $50, and she's like, okay. She's like, did you try this GoodRx card? I'm like, no. Let me go see what we can do. So I try to apply it, and the system is, I'm not really good at applying like new cards like just like off the bat.
Yeah.
So it did take a while. It did take like 10 minutes.
Does that even work for dogs?
Let me get to that.
Oh.
So,
okay. Oh, excited.
so the GoodRx card, I was like, yeah, let me try it. She's like, well, you're obligated by contract to, so. And I'm like,
Thank you for letting me know.
the bin number and then I tried because it says that the veterinarian needs an MPI number, and we don't have an MPI number on file.
And what's an MPI number?
I
Uh-oh.
forgot.
Guys, this is just Gavin's struggles of being a...
National Provider Identifier.
Oh, NPI. I was saying N.
NPI. But we had the DEA number on file.
And DEA is Drug Entertainment Association.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let's see how deep we can get here. That's too deep. Shit. Why is it doing that now?
It's it's the DAA
The
the DEA number is an identifier assigned to healthcare provider by the United States Drug Enforcement Administration. So
Okay.
we had that, but not the national provider identifier
Okay.
on file for that particular veterinarian. So I was like, I tried applying it, but it just doesn't work. And she's like, it should. And I'm like, well, it wasn't. Like, I can't put it in. Like, it won't let me. I need the MPI number of the veterinarian. And because that's just how that works. Like, our system was like, MPI number required. You cannot continue without correct MPI number. So I'm like, okay. So I tell her that, and then she's like, whoa, it should have worked. It went through last time. And I'm like, okay. So I went through and tried doing it again. And then she's like, you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and take the next person and we'll get through it. I'm like, no, man, I'm working on it right now. I'm trying my best. So I try working on it and it doesn't work. And again, because that's just how that works, and our system won't let us fill it. And so then she calls GoodRx, and GoodRx is like on the phone.
Do you think she didn't call them?
Well, it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
I could have called you and been like, "Hi, is this GoodRx?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she could have done something similar. But even if she was, anyway, so then she calls GoodRx, and GoodRx is like, yeah, they should be able to do that. But she didn't tell GoodRx that this was for her dog or what kind of medication it was. And I was like, I've tried to fill this, man. I was like, I just don't have the veterinarian's MPI number. We need the MPI number. And then she's like, yeah, they're talking about having an MPI number for this veterinarian. And then they're like, oh, it's for your dog? Like, she was like, yeah, it's for my dog. Like, it was just like that kind of like question and answer. So then I call over my other, I'm like, I like asked my other technician in the pharmacist, I'm like, are we allowed to like fill something without the MPI? Because the system won't let us do it without the MPI. And then she's like, my coworker got a little bit sassy with her. I'm sure that kind of pissed her off.
Ooh.
So basically saying like, ma'am, we don't have the MPI. Please don't even bother. Like, it's going to cost the same amount of money. And so then GoodRx is like, yeah, we've had problems like this in the past and blah, 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 blah. And then the lady's like, well, do you want to talk to him? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll talk to him. And my other tech was like, yeah, sure, we'll talk to him. And then she was like, wait a minute, we can't like take the phone, you know? And then the lady was like, no, they don't want to help. And then I'm like, I like look at my other technician. I'm like, what? I'm like,
wait, who said they can't take the phone?
Like the other tech. She was like, oh, we can't take the phone because like then if we drop it or break it, then she can say like, oh, you guys are liable. You guys broke my phone.
Yeah.
So then she's like, no, they don't want to help. They don't want to worry about it. They don't want to help me. The difference in price from the last time to this time, $6.
Oh my God. People are so just like.
And it was like, okay. So then I checked her out. You know, like we run a card for the pets.
Yeah.
Like we have a certain card that we run for the pets because we know it'll work. And yeah, sure, you can look up any drug and find a good coupon on GoodRx, but if it's for a pet, we can't do certain things. I was like, yeah. In my head, I'm thinking just how illegal could that be if I were to put that? Because originally I had told her, I was like, yeah, it looks like we ran it through like some kind of insurance. And he's like, well, we shouldn't have run it through an insurance. And I was like,
that's what it says. I'm
like, well, it says that we ran it through an insurance, but it might just be a discount card. So I go and check and see if it's a discount card. And it's a discount card. And she's like, did you try the GoodRx card? So that was where that started out.
Oh, I see.
And so, yeah. And also GoodRx cards aren't set in stone as a price. Mm-hmm. Or if it's the last card we use, it can change.
Yeah.
And it did. And it changed $6. And the last time she picked up was like 3 months ago. And this dog was taking like 180 pills.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So sorry, but let your dog go at that point.
Well, it was like I don't even know, but it was like I think it was for no. But yeah, it was for an old dog. Yeah, it was for an old dog. Or an old cat or something like that. And I'm like, wow, that's an old dog. I noticed that. Like I was like she's like said the birthday and I was like, wow, that's almost as old as my dog. That's an old dog.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then she left a bad review saying that we didn't want to help. I think that it's never Yelp. It's literally just goes straight to us, and it's only ever seen by us.
Well, good.
So it's like our lead tech.
Go fuck yourself.
Basically, our lead tech probably saw that, and I wish that I could give a testimony,
Oh yeah, but
to the lead tech, but I'm sure the lead tech understood that like we can't.
was the lead tech
Yeah.
there?
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. No, it was just another tech. I'm sure. I mean, she's good, but like it was still like.
Yeah, there's such like an entitlement with people, obviously, but like I feel like that's kind of what happened. I was at the pharmacy on, I don't know, either Saturday or Sunday, either dropping off a prescription or picking one up, and there was some guy who was in front of me. Go on, what were you gonna say?
So I looked up veterinary NPI
Uh-huh.
on Google, and it says that instead of an NPI number, veterans have been requested by pharmacies to provide their DEA number, even in case for. So we took the DEA.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, what
Oh, I didn't even see.
hearing what they don't want to hear.
Maybe I did see that. If I
So-
did, I definitely gave it.
Yeah,
a,
it
I
was
definitely
very
gave it
like, yeah. So that was my week, and this weekend was pretty nice because I worked at
Friday
the
off.
hospital.
Or no, you got Saturday,
Nope, didn't have
Thursday. What day did you get? You told me you had a day off.
Well, I had the day off, but then I worked at CVS at night,
What day was that?
Friday.
Nice. But then that's when you had
But
a
then I had work the next day at 2:00,
And then you
worked
had
till
that-
10:30, and then I worked
that
2:00 to 10:30.
wonderful person in
Yep.
the drive-through at the very end.
Yep, that was awesome. I was actually a pretty relaxed day, and also, but then the hospital was pretty relaxed. I did not do anything this weekend really.
Good.
Yeah, wasn't
Good.
that bad at all.
Get a little bit of a break.
Yes.
You definitely needed that. What I was just gonna piggyback off of is I was at the pharmacy, and there was some guy in front of me, like, just same thing. I know this is with like every service job where this happens, but this guy was like, just saying that they came from the hospital. They just came from the hospital because his dad was in the hospital for 7 days, and they needed to pick up this medicine, but he didn't know what medicine it was that he needed to pick up, but he thought it was this amount of medicine, but they only gave him like 3 bags or something, and he thought it was supposed to be more, and so he kept just saying that, but he's like, I don't know what medicine he's supposed to have, and the guy was like, well, this is all we have, like this is what we were given,
Yeah.
this is what is filled, and he was like, well, I don't know what he's supposed to have, but I think it was more than that, or just something like that.
Yeah.
And just kept going back and forth for like
That's the
ever and
thing.
ever, and he wasn't mad. It was just like, okay, he's telling you that this is what they got, so take it and then call your doctor.
Just you already know it's her birthday. They're
Mhm.
already like, whoa, you're already asking too much.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, like they're already kind of like that, where they're like, all right, well, some people are like, oh, I know what I need. Let's go. Let's get it done. Like, no big deal. But some
Yeah.
people are like, all right, I'm here to get my drugs. Let's move on with our lives.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know you. You don't know me. Let's keep it that way.
Mhm.
Kind of. And I think that, I don't think that those people were inherently bad, and I'm sure they didn't mean any harm by it. But, it is frustrating. And it's frustrating to have someone at the place that you're supposed to get your drugs from tell you that they don't have that drug.
Yeah, of course. But
And
it's
so
like
it's
be
like-
more responsible and go pick up your medicine earlier.
Yeah, and it's not even that, because we keep it on the shelf for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Also, with that doctor thing, some doctors' offices or even hospitals take like days. Especially if it's like an old doctor, they don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like we can generate like prescription requests to the prescriber, being like, hey, they need more refills in this. Please fill it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we send them a fax or an electronic fax, and then they'll sign it back. But it takes like 2 or 3 days. And I tell them that whenever somebody like comes in and they're like, my doctor just sent me in something, I'm like, I don't have anything. I tell them that it takes about a day or two, because doctors' offices, again, they got so many patients they can take, so they
They got
only
enough
care
shit
about
going
certain.
on,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, so they get frustrated at us, and I'm like, I can't fill it if we don't have a fucking prescription. Like, I'm like, there was some other lady. This was back a while ago. She was throwing a hissy fit because we didn't have a prescription that she needed, and I was like, she was like, this is ridiculous. You guys should have given me my prescription. I'm like, ma'am, I can't give you it if we don't have a written prescription from your
Yeah.
doctor. That like, I'm pretty sure that's been the case since like fucking 1900.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that
It's
is
illegal.
That's not a new thing. You need something to write. You need like written consent to get. We need written consent to give out this medication to you. We can't just
Yeah.
write things. We're not that. Pharmacists are not that kind of doctor. Technicians.
Well, but
cannot do
Gavin,
that.
I've been getting it for
Exactly.
years.
That is exactly it. And they're like, I've been
I've
getting
taken this
forever.
medicine for so
I'm like,
long.
okay, go talk to your doctor, Dan.
But I've had it for so long. What
And
am I supposed to do?
Some people are like really like.
I love the what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Well, what am I supposed to do now?
A couple people were like, there's always a few people that are always just kind of like, yeah, I know I'm on a lot of medications. It's okay if I don't take this one. Just because, like, they're just like,
oh, okay.
yeah, they're like, I'm on 9 medications. Let me just, like, I'm okay if I can
One of
go.
them will hold me over.
Yeah. And then there was this other guy, I think this was on Tuesday, who was talking to me for, like, 15 minutes in the drive-thru, just rambling. And there were, like, 4 or 5 cars piled up behind him, just, like, in the drive-thru. And I'm like...
Was he just, like, bullshitting with you? Or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to talk to him about, like, his Flomax. And I'm like...
What's Flomax?
I think it's, like, a diuretic. It makes you pee. And,
I don't need any of that.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me, I got no blockages going on. I got a clear...
And I was just trying to see if you wanted me to put this back on the shelf, but he spent 15 minutes, like, talking to me about random shit.
That's a sweet treat. At least he wasn't, like, mad about something, but...
Oh, it's a urinary retention.
Oh, so it's like if you have erectile dysfunction where
Yeah.
you're peeing all the time, it keeps it in.
Yep. No, it's literally...
Let's cut to a live feed.
Yeah. God, that's a
Good
steady
God.
stream.
It's steady, but it's not that steady.
Yeah.
It's got a couple hiccups in it.
What is
That's one of
that?
my new drops. You want to hear my other one?
Smokey Joe has disappeared.
Smokey Joe has disappeared.
Can you hear what he's saying?
No, what is that?
Hello, I'm a Whopper.
Smokey Joe has disappeared.
So, yeah, that was my week. And other than that, it really wasn't that stressful. Like, I did not worry about a thing. Like,
Good.
It was just kind of
You
like...
seem more relaxed today. You don't seem very... I mean, obviously because you have the day off, but you also don't seem like as tight today. You're not very tight today.
Well, I also had just had a lot of thoughts in my head just because last night I was just in my head a lot, at work. Just trying to find the sound. I was just in my head at work. I just didn't really talk to anybody because there was only like 2 people in there with me. So I was just alone in my head with my thoughts. Didn't know what to do. So I came home and had Cane's.
Well, your alma mater. That's the way to go. Well, Gavin. Oh my God, that is so liquidy. They must put something in these things that like keep them frozen longer. Cause like mine's still icy.
Styrofoam.
No, but I swear there's like something in it. I think it's drugs. Well, Gavin, speaking of, I guess, medication in hospital.
Nightmare scenarios.
Nightmare scenarios. You ever had a nightmare scenario, Cherry? Yeah, speaking of nightmares. I was in the ER on Saturday.
Yeah, you told me that. You Snapchatted me afterwards.
I said I told you that. Oh, just kidding. No, go on. Sorry, what were you saying?
You Snapchatted me that. I'm like, oh, hey, look at that.
I said, yeah.
I was like, oh, God, what could it be for now?
I'm in the ER every weekend, guys.
I'm like,
You don't even understand.
I'm like, this guy is trying to get some narcs.
Trust me, I am. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet because we do need to get to our Space Jam talk. Ugh. Because I don't want to make this super long because I got to edit this right after because I'm leaving to go on a flight.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm leaving for this flight in 12 and a half hours. Oh, so I got to get up at 2:30 in the morning. That's the time I have to wake up, which I usually go to bed around then. Whoops. Yeah, so Saturday morning, I woke up and I woke up early, like 6:45, because I had a wedding shoot that day. I film weddings on the side. If you're getting married, give me a call.
Well, they'd have to call your wedding company.
No, I don't have a non-compete agreement, so I can work on my own.
Oh, hey.
So I woke up early because I had a wedding to go to, which is
You're filming
important.
on VHS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we film on
Tapes.
Yeah. We
Some
film
tapes
on,
that you can put in cars. Yeah.
we film on floppies. So
Like the 8x10 floppies.
so I woke up at 5:45 and I was laying in bed for about 5 minutes. And then out of nowhere, not even thinking about anything, just on my phone, my whole body just went cold. And then I was like, it didn't feel like I could really breathe at all. And I just like started like freaking out because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because the night before I just stopped taking an asthma medicine I was taking for chest tightness. And I've been taking it for a month and a half. No issues at all. But that week, like progressively, like weird things started happening. Like every single day at the exact same time, I was getting really aggressive. And then I was beating the shit out of people in parking lots.
Say, like you saw
shooting
somebody,
off
and you're like,
guns.
and you like looked at somebody, you're like, shut the fuck up. You're like, don't look at me.
You stop fucking looking at me.
I wonder what your neighbor.
Well,
Anyway,
I wonder why neighbors think of you. No, just kidding. Well, the upstairs ones have never heard us before, so
maybe they haven't either.
I don't know. I don't ever really see them. They have a bunch of wood out on their front porch, and there's like a pile of cigarettes in an ashtray. So
Anyway,
and it smells like weed on this side of my apartment sometimes.
Well, anyway,
that could be anybody.
yeah.
Well, anyway. So, yeah. So I stopped taking that medicine the night before. Or wait, sorry. And then 2 days before, well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was like these weird panic attacks started happening where I was like spacing out to the point where like Thursday and Friday I just felt like spaced out the whole day. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop taking this medicine Friday night because I took it at night to like, it's supposed to like curb the side effects you get from it. And so I stopped taking it. And so like instantly when I woke up, I'm like, okay, I'm having withdrawals from this medicine. So I went to the bathroom and I just like chilled out for a second and I was like, okay, I'm fine. Same thing happened. Body went cold. Pissed all over the sink, pissed all over the floor. Same thing. Body went cold and I just started shaking like this. Like literally like my whole body, like I was just like
like you were like chills.
Like I was freezing cold
yeah.
even though I didn't feel cold at all.
Right.
I was just like shaking. I'm like, okay, this is super fucking weird. And my head's just like spinning with like the shit going through my head. And so I just like panicked and cut one of those pills in half to take it because I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to wean off of it. And the only reason I did that is because I was like, I got to get to this wedding shoot. Like, I got to get this shit over with. And then I was just like, still just like shaking like crazy because obviously the medicine isn't going to kick in right away. And I called my dad and I was telling him what's going on. And he's like, do you want me to come over? And I was like, yeah. So by the time he came over, I was feeling better. I was still shaking, but just like super spaced out and just like out of it. So we set up like an appointment with like this thing called Teledoc where you can get like a doctor on call immediately to talk to them. So I got on like this FaceTime type call with this doctor.
WebEx meeting.
Yeah, it was called Teledoc is literally what it's called.
Okay.
And so I tell her everything that's going on. She's like, yeah, I don't know if it's the medicine or not. And she's like, but it sounds serious enough where I want you to go to the ER and get it checked out. And I was just like, okay. And so we got off with her. And I was feeling better at that point, but still not great. So we went to the ER. They ran a bunch of tests for hours and hours and hours. Progressively started getting better. Long and the short of it is, they were like, everything seems fine. They said they don't think it was the medicine that was causing the issues. Oh, I got to restart this. So they're like, we don't think it's the medicine. You know, they're like, it could have just been like a panic attack or something. And so we leave there. And everything's been fine since. I'm still like spacey a little bit. I'm still Kevin Spacey, as I told Gavin earlier. And it just feels like
boy in the closet kind of thing, you know.
Exactly. So it feels like I'm just looking through like a foggy glass, and it doesn't really feel like I'm all with it. And then it's like sometimes I'll just get like a abrupt feeling of like kind of panicky, and then it'll like subside, and I'll be able to like kind of ground myself and be okay, which is weird because this has never happened to me before. Sponsor Prozac. Yeah, so I don't know what happened. If it was a combination, I think my thought was that I kind of discussed with my mom is that it was a combination of going off my medicine and then like just an extreme panic attack, because I had those random panic attacks like those past couple of days where it's just like for whatever reason some stress or something just built up to like the breaking point, and I just had like an extreme panic attack for like no reason Saturday, and then also coupled with
it just like overran.
medicine.
It's like overran your head, you know.
Yeah, like literally, because that's what it felt like. So I've been fine ever since. I'm still off that medicine, and I haven't had any issues like that.
Bro, stay off that shit, bro. Stay off them drugs.
I don't want to take that shit no more. You know what I'm saying, crud? So I've been feeling better ever since. I feel horrible for having to cancel on that wedding shoot because they never have a backup in place. It was just so happened that there was a third shooter who was a trainee that was on this shoot, and luckily she has done like 30 to 50 weddings with another company. So they just bumped her up to a second, and she did fine.
Oh, good.
But it was just like, I just felt so bad.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother story, but they were perfectly fine with it and super nice about it. But
And the
I
wedding
just
was like, what the fuck?
well, so I don't know exactly the whole story of this, but apparently somehow, because I wasn't there and this girl couldn't get there until an hour, the time that she was supposed to be there, which was an hour after I was supposed to be there, somehow their timeline got thrown off. And like she said that the mother of the bride or mother of the groom was like pissed, and for the rest of the day was like not happy with them. And I was like, I am so sorry. I literally had no well, she wasn't like trying to make me feel bad, but I was just like, oof.
Medical emergencies kind of take precedent over
Literally.
a fucking wedding. I'm sorry, but like,
Well, and it also kind of, yeah, I won't get into that. Anyways, I just felt really bad for that.
Yeah. Well, don't feel too bad.
I mean, I mean,
It was 1 hour.
oh, what was an hour?
That time difference.
Oh yeah,
It was 1 hour.
It sounded like it ended up fine. It just she was just like, yeah, she was pissed for a minute, but now I'm feeling better, progressively getting better. Getting out today was nice, and seeing J Spam. Also, one real quick thing that I want to tell you about is that I guess this was like maybe the day after we last recorded. Now tell me if I've told you this or not yet. So I was cooking dinner, and it was like 5 or 6. I guess that. I'm here for blah 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 to drop off some court papers I'm from blah 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 to drop off some court papers, and I was like, oh, and I recognize the name because I still keep getting her mail. I'm like, oh, that's the previous tenant. They don't live here anymore. Like, I'm sorry or something like that. And so he just goes, okay. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, I get paid. And then he's just like, what's your name? And then he signed, and then he writes it down, and then he's like, all right, thank you. So he was dropping off some court papers for whoever lived here before, and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, that's like not the first time that's happened either. You've gotten
and
court
usually they're for
papers.
me, but
Yeah.
I'll usually have Gavin answer.
Yeah, and I'll answer. I'll be like, nah, he doesn't live here anymore.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. He doesn't live here anymore.
But I just thought that was interesting.
I mean, there's a warrant out for
happened.
your arrest, but they don't really care
It
too
is,
much.
but they can't find me.
Smokey Joe has disappeared.
That's my real name, is Smokey Joe. That's how much they have a bond on me for.
So,
Gavin, after all that crap with our lives and the hell we go through on a day-to-day basis, let's talk about something that isn't hell. Space Jam.
cartoon lives.
Cartoon. The Toon World.
Yeah.
Gavin, why don't
The
you...
Warner serververse.
Exactly. The Warner Brothers servers with...
Full
what was his
disclosure,
name?
we're going to be spoiling this movie.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know-
Spoiler alert from here
I
on
don't
out.
know if you care too much about this movie.
Spoiler
or-
alert,
but,
Bugs
like,
Bunny dies at the end.
He does.
Or
But-
does he? That's that part I have such an issue with, but we'll get to that.
So we watched.
I've only
This is
seen
like
parts.
this was the first time Carson had ever watched Space Jam 1.
This is true. I've
This
only
is
seen
like
parts of
the
it.
third time I've seen it, but I don't
Shit.
remember certain parts. I don't remember the trophy room thing at all.
Oh, really?
I don't remember that at all. I was surprised at how disproportional that dog was to the whole room.
Dog was fucking huge.
That was like bad editing.
That was a big dog.
And then, so Carson, what were your initial thoughts of it? What do you think that was a reason for it to be an initial or to be like an instant classic as soon as it came out? And that was one of the things that should be revered by basketball fans everywhere for years to come? Or was it a kind of like a commercial, like, hey, this was a commercial once and now we're making a movie about it?
I think that it wasn't made to be a classic. I think it was made just to, because of the popularity of what you brought, Looney Tunes. So get these celebrities we're gonna throw at you. You love Bill Murray, don't you?
You love Larry Bird. He just retired,
Love
just
him.
like Michael Jordan.
He's
did.
gonna run out of money here real soon.
Yeah.
So you better love him now.
And then he's gonna take over the Pacers and ruin them for 15 years.
Exactly. So I would say that I think it became an instant classic, more of like a cult classic in a way that gained like popularity from
'Cause
there.
I mean, it's not a great movie. It's really not. It's not.
I think it's just like a 90s orgy that people just love watching because
Yeah,
it's
it
the
is.
90s.
It is. Yeah, it is a very nostalgic movie, just in general,
Yeah.
altogether.
But before
Um,
you share your opinion on that, do you want to give kind of like an overview of what the movie is?
Space Jam?
Just like a quick synopsis.
Basically, Michael Jordan retires from basketball,
which he did in real life.
and he did. He retires from, and this is supposed to be a fictitious story between when he retired to when he came back.
Or
and
is it?
basically, like what got him to come back to basketball was that the Looney Tunes motivated him too, and that I guess Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley were like, come on, he doesn't know how to play basketball. So anyway,
that boy don't know how to
he doesn't
ball.
know how to play basketball. So he's a baseball player now, and so basically he gets abducted by the Looney Tunes because the Looney Tunes are going to try and be enslaved, by an alien race for their amusement if they don't win a basketball game.
Exactly.
So Bugs Bunny comes up with the idea because they're short, they don't have long arms, they don't have long legs, they can't jump, they're not fast. That a basketball game
Basketball James.
would be the greatest solution to beating them and avoiding their eternal enslavement at what was it, Mount Moron or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The theme park Mount Moron.
Yeah. So so they Michael Jordan gets enlisted at during his golf game with Newman from Seinfeld,
Exactly.
Larry Bird, and Bill Murray.
And Bill Murray from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Bill Murray from Ghostbusters.
And he gets
Ghostbusters
sucked down.
he gets
the hole.
sucked down a hole, and Newman is having him take a picture with the hole in one. That's what gets him sucked in. But basically, he gets sucked into the Toon world, and the Toons live underground or under the earth.
In the center of the earth,
in the
Gavin,
center of the
please.
earth, and it's
Please get it
this is a
correct.
big. If you're a big Hollow Earth theory fan, such as myself, I'm just kidding.
I know you are.
Big Hollow Earth theory. There's definitely a whole nother civilization that lives below us.
Exactly.
the
And that's the
Dwemer.
tunes.
Be on the lookout for any signs of sinkholes and people living in sinkholes and stuff like that. There is a Hollow Earth, and Looney Tunes are part of it. And that's basically the movie. Is that they then they also steal the powers from Muggsy Bogues, Sean Bradley, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley. Yeah.
Gnarls Barkley.
Yeah. And they become monstars.
Mm-hmm. They get real big.
Yeah, they get
hard.
They get real big. And
Rock
oh,
solid.
wow, I am really hot now.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm sweating.
Oh, I'm getting colder for some reason.
No, I'm sweating now.
I was getting real hot at the beginning.
But they end
That's
up,
just because I
so
just
Michael
watched Lola
Jordan.
Bunny for 2 hours,
Yeah.
4 hours
Oh,
actually.
God.
Oh,
So
we'll get to that.
so
in a
Michael
minute.
Jordan makes a historic comeback from like down 72 to 2 or something like that.
Sure.
On this day in history, Michael Jordan extended his arm 1,800 feet to get a slam jam. And so that's basically the synopsis of Space Jam 1.
Well, you didn't finish it. What happens at the end? They win,
They win.
and Michael Jordan goes back to basketball.
Michael Jordan goes back to basketball.
Solid.
Yeah, and they get they make every male in the audience stiff as a board.
Sure
Which
did
they
for
actually
me.
made that joke
Wait,
in
what
the
did
movie.
They say?
Whenever Bugs Bunny he becomes stiff.
Oh yeah, he becomes
He
hard.
becomes like stiff as a board and like falls over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that version of Space Jam, I'm glad they kept it cartoony. I'm glad they made the cartoons in real life.
Are you talking about the second one or the first
the first one?
Oh, okay.
First one. And it is just a timepiece, really, of the
It was fun.
mid-90s.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Do you want to talk about the Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, okay,
theme
so also
thing that
during
seems to
the
happen.
basketball game, like whenever the Looney Tunes like get their swagger back, they take roids at halftime.
Yep,
Whenever
they
they're
juice
doing
up.
that, the
It's called Miserlou
Yeah,
by
by-
Dick Dale.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a weird reference. They're like aiming a gun up to the camera and it's like pointed at them.
And it's abrupt start and stop of the music.
And it's just like a hard cut. Like
Yeah.
it is like the hardest cut. And it's just, like the whole movie, it was like Windows 95 Movie Maker, like
Yeah.
flipping it, like
Yeah.
like those kinds of things. But like this time was like
It was a hard
it
cut.
was the hardest cut I've ever seen in that
And
movie.
Gavin and I laughed very hard about
Yeah,
it.
because it was just like what the fuck was that? We actually went back and watched it again
Yeah.
because it was like, was that real?
Yeah, we had to see it one more time. But it wasn't even that long. It was very short.
Yeah.
It was pretty great though. So, what's your? Did you already share your overall opinion on Space Jam 1? Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this intro?
Yeah.
Oh, you just pass it out. You pass it out. Oh no, it's right after this.
Yeah.
Nice kaboom, Wiley.
And
And that
just
was it.
hard
That was
cut.
a cut.
Hard cut after
It's
that.
so weird.
Very, very hard cut. So what was your overall opinion on it?
I think it's still like a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's a really short movie. Didn't really realize how short of a movie that was because it was like over an hour and a half, like
Yeah.
hour 20 minutes. Really, it's an easy watch, but
Yeah,
does not take a lot to watch that. Like no
Nope.
mental game at all.
You can just zone out.
Yeah,
That's a sick
especially
day
because
movie.
Bill Murray's in it, and Bill Murray's trying to get himself in the NBA.
Oh, Bill.
Bill Murray's just trying to get himself in the NBA.
Well, what do you think about me joining the NBA, Michael?
I did not mean to hit that.
pretty
but
loud.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, what did you think of Space Jam? Your first watch?
Well, like I said earlier, I enjoyed it. It's definitely a sign of the times, and it was fun. And it's like, it's a 90s movie, which I like. I like 90s movies. I don't think I'd watch it again, but yeah, you're right. It's just an easy, fun watch.
Yeah, there's just something about it where somebody like mentions watching Space Jam. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it
Yeah.
because the intro is literally like 7 minutes long, and it's just a highlight reel of Michael Jordan's like pre 1994.
Mhm. And I want to talk about that too because they do the same exact thing in the new one. Should we go and move on to the new one?
Yeah.
So since you gave the backstory of the first one, I'll give us the backstory of the second one.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. This is a spoiler alert. This is not a drill, folks. Folks, this is a spoiler alert. This is a spoiler alert. This is a bruh moment. Folks, we are not playing around. This is a bruh moment. You are about to hear some spoilers for the new Space Jam movie.
Yes.
So, this movie starred. So it starts. So the whole. Let's just get this out of the way. It's pretty much the same story as the first Jam, Space Jam, Story Jam,
Mm-hmm.
except the backstory is a little different. It has to do with his kid, and not so much whereas the
And
first
algae rhythm.
That's right, algae rhythm. So whereas the first one's Jordan as a kid, this one's LeBron's kid as a kid. Or no, it's LeBron as a kid.
Yeah.
But then it goes to about his kids.
His coach didn't let him play.
Not his real kids, though.
His coach didn't let him play Looney Tunes on the Nintendo Game Boy.
It was like Looney Tunes Mario. Looney Tunes Mario. Ooh.
So yeah.
I'm giving the backstory.
Oh, okay.
Now you got me quiet. Okay, now I'm too loud. Perfect. So, do you mind if I?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I don't want you to tee it. I want you to say some stuff if you hear me say something wrong or if there's something you want to say. Okay. So don't feel like this isn't just my moment. So LeBron James. It starts out as LeBron James as a kid, and then it goes to him like playing ball with his kids, not his real kids, and the whole story is like. It's, it starts out with him being told that he shouldn't be wasting his time with video games. And then he gets that instilled in his mind because his parents pushed him too hard.
Because childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma, and he needs to go see a therapist. So then he his kid,
His coach.
one of his kids.
His coach told him.
yeah, his
You
coach
need,
told him.
He's like, do you want to get anywhere? Like, you can't be spending
You
that time.
dumbass.
Yeah, you can't be spending time on that game.
You're not a fucking nerd, LeBron. So it ends up being that his kid, similar to real life, doesn't want to be like him and doesn't really want to play basketball and is into video games and into making video games.
Yeah, he made his own game.
He made his own game, which they mentioned 7,000 times in the movie.
Hell yeah.
So he makes his own his son Dom, which I don't think he has his actual son named Dom. It's not a real son. So, sorry,
No, it's Bryce. It's
Snot
Bryce
in
and
my throat.
Bronny.
but none of them were in it.
No.
So, yeah. So he wants to make a video, or he wants to be a video game designer and wants to go to this camp. LeBron doesn't want him to, and then LeBron starts to get into what his kid's into, and then he's like, "Do you want to go to this meeting at Warner Brothers with me?" And they're like, "Sure." They go there. They get introduced to this algorithm called Algorithm, which is Don Shalata, and so they're introduced to this
Algorithm.
and he has this idea to make this thing, and they find it kind of dumb, and then
Because he's an algorithm that Warner
and
Brothers.
it's funny because his name is Algorithm.
Yeah, and
Everybody laughs.
it's like Warner Brothers has like this algorithm that makes ideas for them, and then Sarah Silverman's like, "Oh yeah, let's see what the algorithm made for us today." And they're like, "Oh, okay.
yeah.
So then they present this idea to LeBron James.
And then
LeBron James calls it stupid.
an Algorithm
Took that personally.
is connected to apparently literally every sort of anything in the world. It doesn't matter if it's your home computer or a computer at Warner Brothers, because
Yeah.
he said he could see what Dom was doing on his computer.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Bronny.
You can say whatever. So,
LeBron James.
so Algorithm kind of like takes over the elevator that they're going down to leave after LeBron's son gets upset. And then they, instead of going down to the lobby, they get taken all the way to the basement where
The 12th level of the basement or something like that.
where
And
the
then it says
computer
LG.
network is attached.
Yeah.
Where
The servers
Algorithms where the servers are. And then Algorithm takes over and brings them into his world, into the servers.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers serververse.
And then that's
like
when
what it's called. It's called the Warner Brothers serververse, or the Warner
3000,
serververse.
and
Yeah,
that's where things go bad. So they get into the world, and this guy's like, "Welcome to this," and they're all excited, and then, LeBron's son is gone.
yeah. Anyway, keep going.
And then
Like he literally is like one. It's like one cut. All of a sudden, he's just not there anymore.
Yep. And then this Algorithm guy splits off into two. One of them goes with LeBron's son, and one of them goes with LeBron. And the one that goes with LeBron, he's mad and wants to take over LeBron and his powers. And
His social media influence.
oh, is that what it was? I thought it was
He's
just
like
his
he's
power.
like a kingdom. Like he has like since he's like the king of social media. He's had so many social media
Well, he's
followers.
the king of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, it would be awesome with my algorithm
Yeah.
and his social media influence,
Yeah.
basically, and like his media empire, and like putting it together.
Yeah. So,
Which is funny because it's coming from Warner Brothers.
so then he, as in the first movie, wants to challenge him to a basketball game.
Yeah, because his son made a digital basketball game.
Digital basketball game. And so the other one that's with
It's fun.
his son,
It's a fun version of basketball.
it's very fun. It's fun. So the other version that's with LeBron's son is talking to him about how bad his dad is, and you shouldn't.
He wouldn't let you be yourself.
Person. Yeah, he won't let you be yourself. I want you to join my basketball team, and we'll go beat him. And so then the rest of the movie is pretty much just the basketball game, like it was in the first movie. And all your favorite tunes are back. Well, before that, LeBron gets sent to the Toon World, meets Bugs Bunny, and then this is the best part. Then Bugs and LeBron have to go find all the other tunes, which are scattered amongst the servers in the Warner Brothers servers.
Serververse.
And so there's all these worlds. There's like a Matrix world, a Harry Potter world. Help me out here. Game of Thrones world. That's all I can-
DC.
Yeah,
The
DC world. So they go to all these worlds and get them all together. And when they go to these worlds, they do like these parts where it's like a scene from the Matrix, but it's Granny from
And,
the Looney Tunes.
Speedy Gonzalez.
The Mad Max one was so fucking
that
funny.
it was actually really fucking stupid.
Oh, it was so dumb. Well, so
Oh my
was the
God.
Mad Max one. It was
Yeah,
it's legitimately just scenes from these movies that they intercut with the tune
it's
characters.
pretty funny. That's a pretty funny sequence. I would be okay if they made more movies like that.
Yeah, why not?
Well, anyway. So
Well,
yeah, they
yeah.
basically collect a team, and LeBron's thinking like, oh, with all these, he says this multiple times, with all these Warner Brothers like assets, we could make like Donkey Kong, or not Donkey Kong, but King Kong,
Donkey Kong.
the Iron Giant, Batman, Superman,
You got all these people.
yeah, and then Bugs is like, I'm gonna commandeer the Marvin.
I don't like that idea,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
And Marvin the Martian gets tricked into.
No.
Yeah. You made me steal my Martian.
Why did you steal my
You
spaceship?
stole my spaceship.
Oh fuck.
And the
They-
serververse.
Yeah, they get all the tunes together.
But before that, Bugs gets drunk and sad.
Oh, that was really
that was
fucking
pretty funny
too.
Off of carrot juice.
Yeah, and he's like,
He's like, yeah. He's like,
looks
yeah.
very funny.
LeBron's like, yeah, family is everything. He's like, yeah.
yeah.
It was really funny.
I just like the way his eyes look. His face
Yeah.
looked very funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
And
this was all like an animated
Yes.
Looney Tunes. So LeBron, whenever he gets crash landed into the Looney Tunes world, which are considered the rejects of the world, I
Yep.
don't know why. I don't know why that they were, but
because they're old.
yeah, because they're old, and so he crash lands and it turns into a Nike logo wherever.
Details here
I
in a
thought that was
minute.
funny.
I thought it was dumb. We'll get to that in a minute because I got a whole thing about product placements. Yeah, so like in the first movie, like Jordan's himself in the tune. They get to the basket and he faces off with his Toon Squad team and him versus his son and
His
Algae
souped up
Rhythm.
son.
His
His
souped up
souped up son.
Algae
And
Rhythm.
the players that got scanned into Bronny's game or Dom's game before it got taken over by
And
before
Dom.
like they stole the code of Algae and what was the butler's name? The guy, the sidekick's name,
Oh,
the light bulb looking thing.
fuck.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
they stole the code of his game to like enhance the players that he's that Bronny that Dom had already scanned into the game.
Mm. So then I just have this super team, and then the basketball game starts, and it's the same thing, you know. LeBron's team is down at one
Yeah.
point.
Because it's supposed to be fun basketball and you get style points and stuff like that. So like every single person that was tuning into the game got sucked into the
Yeah.
serververse.
Everybody's
And
watching
the stakes of the game was that if LeBron loses the game, then everybody who got sucked in to watch the game gets stuck there, and the Looney Tunes get deleted.
Yep. Yeah, that's very important. So it ends up being that they play this game. They're down super low again. That goes to halftime. They get all juiced up again. And then Michael B. Jordan comes out because they said they found Michael Jordan. We'll get to that detail in a minute. And then they go back out. The Toon Squad ends up winning the game, of course. And it ends up being that Algae reached out and dies, glitched in Dom's game. Bugs Bunny gets glitched out, dies, but then
Bugs Bunny
very
fucking
final
dies.
scene comes back to life and is in the real world, but we never find out how he came back to life.
Yeah.
So
And Bronny and Dom
Dom.
gets to go to the games conference instead of the
yes, he
basketball camp.
does.
Even though he
My
wants to go to
God.
the basketball camp, and then LeBron's like, "Well, you got to go to the games.
You
camp."
got to go to the game thing
Yeah.
now because I still make the decisions around
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the movie. And now we can get into the finite details of it.
So
and our
my
opinions.
overall grade is like a 5 out of 10. Not great. Not a great movie. Entertaining, really long for a Space Jam movie, for a LeBron James movie. Pretty long.
It was very long.
It was very stupid though. It was stupid.
Oh, it was horrible.
And that's what made it so funny to me. It's because it was just like
You told me to dab?
Yeah.
You told me to dab?
And LeBron James does dab in this. Big Chungus makes an appearance. You missed it, but Big Chungus
yeah.
makes an appearance in this movie.
Do you think they knew that it was Big Chungus that
Yeah,
they were doing?
mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because that's where the bit comes from, is like a rabbit season kind of thing.
Oh, really? I'm searching up Big Chungus now. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
do Big Chungus Space Jam.
Yep, Big Chungus Space Jam 2. First thing to show up. Jesus Christ. Yep, there it is. Big Chungus. And why is it called Big Chungus?
I don't know. Because there was like somebody that made a video game, like a fake video game cover of that screen capture from the original cartoon and like made it on a video game cover,
Which is funny.
Chungus the game or something like that. And then
Okay.
everybody started calling it Big
There's
Chungus.
one of Lola, too, which is funny.
Wait, in Space Jam?
No, just like a
Oh,
picture
yeah.
that somebody edited.
But yeah, I thought it was stupid, and there were some parts I literally laughed out loud. One of them was
Because they were just so dumb.
they were just so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed myself because it was so stupid. It wasn't something I had to worry about where I was like, oh, I'm reviewing this movie, like it's gonna be shitty. I knew it was, and that's what made it like going to the movie knowing it's gonna be shitty. LeBron James has some really bad like acting in it.
He's so bad.
He was really bad at acting.
My least favorite part.
and I
don't
think
mean
that might be why they made most of it animated. Like
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna get to.
because like it was just like.
One thing I wanted to say real quick, not to interrupt you, but the thing that really got on my nerves is anytime it was, or actually anytime during it, but he had to yell, it'd be like, "Yo, man, come over here," instead of like actually yelling. It was just like him talking louder, and it was
Or
just
you know,
like
talking
you guys,
softer, but made it sound louder. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yo,
whenever somebody's
man,
like,
get over here.
whenever somebody's like, oh, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah,
You know, like that kind of.
but it was especially LeBron. It was
Yeah.
him like he'd yell and you go ah.
Oh, there was another part during the game
That was
where
so
there was a
annoying.
really long censor beat.
Oh, that was fucking funny.
Yeah,
Like literally like that.
yeah.
He
Don Cheadle.
yeah, Dom
Algae rhythm.
Chilade.
Dom switches sides too because he realizes that he can't.
Oh yeah. He switches sides.
Yeah,
So LeBron doesn't have to dunk on his son. He joins
Yeah.
the team.
yeah.
Um,
Don
Yeah,
Cheadle also
go
gets
on.
like fucking roided out at the end too.
yeah, he does.
And
but
it was
that's
that
how
was really
loses.
that was really like uncanny valley because I'm pretty sure they could just have edited Don Cheadle's face like superimpose his face as opposed to like digitalizing it.
Yeah,
It was really weird.
it was very weird. So was the
It
whole
wa-
movie, though.
Yeah, and in the background there's a lot of characters and whatnot, and it was
It the clown.
yeah the
Mask.
mask, Penguin from the Batman Returns or whatever it is.
Yep.
With Michael Keaton.
And Danny DeVito, who plays Penguin, who was in the first film.
Mm-hmm.
He was the voice actor for the Monstars boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that it was a similar concept, but I don't think that was the first time I've seen a movie where it was like they got sucked in the computer. Not an original idea, but
Yeah.
by any means, but it was like it was kind of neat to see that. Warner Brothers was like, yeah, we have all these properties, and we also have an algorithm that I guess does all these things. I thought that was an interesting idea. I think that I'm glad it wasn't like, oh yeah, we're playing this basketball game because you're a basketball player.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like really funny references where it was like, I thought Michael Jordan aged gracefully.
Oh,
There was one where it was like,
up,
yeah,
but
that was what I was talking about. Whenever it was like, I thought he aged more gracefully because he did not age gracefully.
No.
And there was one where LeBron James, Don Cheadle was like, your dad just gets up and leaves. That's kind of his MO. It was like he's left, he left Cleveland, he left, Cleveland again.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
There was another one. I think it was something Ernie Johnson said. I thought there was gonna be a block by James joke in there, but then it didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It was an okay movie.
It was fine.
I
It's not going
enjoyed
to
it.
be a classic like
no,
the first
it's
one.
definitely not. LeBron James is just too bad at acting. He's just
He's
not.
so bad.
It-
Like Jordan's fine. Like Jordan was a fine actor in my opinion, but
I feel like they did give him a lot of lines. I feel like he didn't.
Jordan?
Yeah,
oh,
Jordan did not say a lot
well,
of
I
lines.
wonder why.
He did not say a
LeBron
lot.
said too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what'd you say, Dad?
He told me to dab? I didn't get that at all. I don't know what
Yeah.
whose idea that was. Yeah, it was fine. It was like a 4 for me. Do you mind if can you fill the void while I go take a piss? I gotta pee really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back.
I'm
I
trying
just
to
had to
think.
pee so bad. And
There
then
was
I can
just
give
a
my
lot
opinion
of
on it.
yeah. There was just a lot of like little things that I enjoyed about the movie. Like I said, I think everything that happened in Toon World was actually kind of funny. Like the way that they had to get Lola. Oh, that was another thing. Is that Lola Bunny was like, you get it. Bugs Bunny and LeBron James were skipping through the Wonder Woman comic book in the serververse, and he was like, Bugs was like, you get a chance to play with the NBA superstar, and Lola was like, been there, done that, and I think they said that a couple times, and they also mentioned, I think Don Cheadle said something like, your dad's one of the greatest. Well, that's still up for debate. Like I think there was a joke like that where it was still funny because it was like, it poked fun at everything. But I think one of the things that I don't think LeBron. I mean, I'm sure he did, but a lot of people are gonna make fun of him for this performance. A lot of people are gonna make fun of him. They're gonna cut things. Whenever anything comes out about LeBron James in the next year, they're going to reference the Space Jam movie. So if you want to be in on those kinds of jokes, watch the Space Jam movie. You can watch it on HBO Max, or you can go watch it in theaters. Because there's going to be a lot of like really funny clips where they can basically just cut LeBron. He says something. There's some really weird things that he says, and basically weird to me that like Dom was easily like. I mean, this is obviously for plot, but like, and part of the movie, but he was so easily persuaded by like a literal digital algorithm. Like that's so bizarre to me that he was just like, yeah, I'm not going to trust my dad. My dad doesn't want me to be who I am, but this algorithm that doesn't really know me, yeah, he knows what I'm into. Yeah, this guy gets it. Yeah, this algorithm gets me more than my dad does. So I think I'm going to trust him a lot more, and I'm willing to play the basketball game.
Well, who isn't?
Yeah, so it was the other thing was that like Don Cheadle was like, your dad's one of the greatest of all time or something like that, and then he's like, well, that's still up for debate. That one made me laugh too.
Oh, I didn't hear that one either.
Yeah.
One thing I overheard you saying was that I found interesting was that they like never like.
They also said Warner Brothers like a million fucking times in this movie. Anytime that they mentioned a Warner Brothers property, they would mention that it's Warner Brothers property.
Yeah. The one thing I found interesting is they never
Wizard of Oz was another one that got mentioned.
Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz. One thing I found interesting was that they never specifically like mentioned the original Space Jam. They were just like, yeah, this sounds familiar.
Been there, done that.
Or been there, done that. That was the only two times it's ever brought up.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what? They're not going to mention the first one? And, Jordan was mentioned, but it wasn't the right Jordan. It was Michael B. Jordan for like 5-second cameo.
This was one thing I noticed is that I like the voices of this Space Jam.
What's that?
I don't, like SpongeBob before the SpongeBob movie sounds different than SpongeBob after the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah.
That's the same kind of thing where it was like this is like movie Looney Tunes in Space Jam 1, movie Looney Tunes in Space Jam 2. Uh-huh. I think they've had a Looney Tunes cartoon in the past 10 years. I think I've definitely I know I definitely watched it, and I think that was the same kind of cartoon style, the same voices, so I was kind of used to that. I was not used to those 90 ones. Those 90s voices were way different to me. Just not like a culture shock kind of thing, but just kind of like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, these are different.
Yeah. And I think there was a lot more 3D effects that were thrown at you in the older Space Jam. I'm not sure why. Maybe it originally came out in 3D, but I thought that was just a weird like.
He spits on the camera.
Yeah, he spits on the camera, and it's just really. They have a lot of really weird like things that happen in the movie.
A lot of really
one of
weird
them
things.
was that like Newman like gets flattened out and then gets pumped up. I thought that was pretty funny, just because like he gets flattened the fuck like he's flattened like a pan like he's way larger flattened out, and I thought that was just basically he's fat and that's a joke.
Yep. Good old joke. There's another one. Also, Bill Murray keeps talking about how like he's white, so he probably can't go play basketball.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, what about Bird?
LeBron James made a joke about that too in the new Space Jam where he's like, the algorithm black.
Oh yeah.
That made the whole crowd chuckle at that one.
Yeah.
Because we actually had a crowd in there. I was expecting not that many people, but there was
decent amount of people.
There were some kids that were talking throughout the whole movie.
Certainly was. Yeah, so the ones what they're really 1,000 times.
Okay, yeah, obviously.
Which LeBron's, of course, there was also Nike Dunks at one point. Michael B. Jordan was wearing Fear of Gods.
LeBron was wearing Air Force Ones in the real
Yeah.
world before he got sucked into
And
the
so was
serververse.
that his like assistant was wearing Air Force Ones, I
Mhm.
noticed. I didn't notice anybody else. Anyway, sorry, you were saying at the end what?
At the end, there was probably a placement where Dom has headphones that were like, it's like DX or something like that. It was very,
Oh, interesting. I didn't
yeah, it
notice
was
that.
like a headphone or something.
I noticed he had headphones. I didn't
Yeah.
see what they were though.
That was probably placement for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
In the
like,
original
they
one-
said in the original one they had like a whole sentence that was like 5 references
Yeah.
in one.
I'll get you your Gatorade, you'll get you your
McDonald's.
your Wheaties, and then we'll go get you a Big Mac.
Yeah.
And he was eating McDonald's at that point too, if
Yeah.
you noticed. And the McDonald's looked very weird. The fries were like pieces of wood. It looked like.
Probably were.
Yeah, probably were back then. Back in the day, McDonald's fries were wood chips.
I didn't really think. I don't think that this was necessarily a bad movie. I said go see this movie if you want.
Yeah.
If you like, LeBron James will be made fun of consistently for this next season, and they're going to use clips from this movie. So if you want to know what these jokes are,
Yeah.
and you want to get the reference, go to see the movie.
It was very.
As a basketball fan, not that bad of a movie. I'm not
Yeah.
a huge LeBron James fan, but I appreciate his greatness. You know, if Steph Curry did a LeBron James movie, or I'm sorry, did a LeBron James movie, did a Space Jam movie, that he would have been grilled to hell and back. Like he would not.
Oh, yeah.
He would never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Some people were making jokes that like LeBron's now out of their top 10 because because of how bad his acting was and stuff
Oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the acting was just so like everybody else was great. One thing I wanted to say.
I was wondering why they just didn't get his real kids the
Yeah.
whole time. That was what I was wondering. I was like, why
Because
the
I
fuck
think
do
Jordan's real kids were in it.
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
think.
sure. Yeah. I'm like, why didn't you,
would
or
think
like,
so.
why didn't LeBron get his real wife in this? Like, I agree.
That wasn't even his real wife.
No.
Oh, I
No.
didn't pay attention to that part.
Nope.
That's funny. The good thing I want to say about this movie is I felt like it was executed very well in terms of like, you know, the
coloration, the
effects were
cinematic,
great. Yeah.
the cinematic color was dark
yeah,
for a while. Like in the
and they lit it very well. Like you obviously, I mean, the old one's what 20 plus years old at this
Yeah.
point.
25.
Yeah, but you know, comparing the lighting from then to then, like that, especially that scene with the big ass dog that's green screen in there, like the lighting is way different than what is in that trophy room. Whereas like this, like everything felt really, it was lit very well, and just the effects were really good. The CGI was great.
I was surprised at how well the Looney Tunes looked in the game.
Yeah, me too.
Or like during the basketball game. In the old one, it was like very obvious that they were like,
Yeah.
you know, like blue screened in or whatever.
Did you send a behind the scenes at one point of?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
did.
that was so weird.
And he's like, "Great job, Bugs."
Yeah, and there's like nobody, and like there's just crowd noise that they're playing
There's
over
just,
a
like green
yeah.
screen, like people in green suits.
And they're playing like crowd noise over a speaker. And he's like, "Good job, Bugs," and he's the only one talking. I'm like, man, that had to be so awkward.
I was waiting for that. I never saw that.
I
was
didn't
waiting.
either.
I was waiting for that. It was probably just something that might have been like
Yeah.
in the background or like zoomed out. You know.
The thing that I kept thinking about is like, man, like it had to be so awkward for him. That's probably why the acting's so bad, because it was probably so awkward for him to film all those scenes. Not that that's an excuse, but just to
I
be
think
like
it's just like
there by himself talking to nobody.
well, I think Don Cheadle did a really good job.
Oh, he did a great job. Yeah.
There were a couple parts where he had some pretty like lines. I was waiting for him to say like no
Oh, he
more.
said a lot of dumb shit.
I
but it
was
just, like, he
expecting
didn't
him
do
to
bad.
say like no more Mr. Nice algorithm.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to say that, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He dressed up as Steve Jobs with a Genius Bar at the Genius Bar. That was funny.
And then his head turned into LeBron.
Yeah, that was creepy.
It was
That was very weird. But I mean, it makes sense because he's an
I'm
algorithm.
thinking about that while I'm asleep.
But I think Don Cheadle did a really good job.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron. I think some parents might be. I think some parents might be a little outraged at him saying "damn" and "hell" during this movie.
Oh, true.
And that bleep, that censor bleep, because he
That
definitely said like
censor bleep was
motherfucking. I'm
so
pretty sure that's what
funny.
it was.
Probably.
But they bleeped
was very
it.
funny,
It was really
though.
funny. It was I was completely out of the blue, and it was funny because that's how NBA coaches are whenever they're down
Oh yeah.
or whenever they blow a
Oh,
lead.
and then the Bill Belichick
yeah, that was funny.
where Don Cheadle's
yeah,
like Bill Belichick.
Don Cheadle like had a headset on and had a hoodie on.
short sleeve hoodie.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was a good scene. I like that. yeah, it was just a.
I kind of wish that the NBA players were in it a little bit
They
more.
just had like small little cameos.
Basically, they never played themselves. They only played they played the video game character versions of them.
yeah,
And even then,
and those weren't even voice acted by them. I'm
they
sure.
hardly. No, they hardly were. I think they tuned them up or down because I think like AD's voice is really deep.
I didn't feel like that was their actual voices. I felt like it was just like they just use a character.
Yeah,
on her to do
I
their
think
voice.
Clay had a voice line in there that stuck out like a sore thumb to me.
Yeah, the Clay character like barely ever talked though.
He
it was
said
like
something.
one line where
he said
heard
something
Clay.
where it was like I'm wet or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Yeah,
And it was just like, wow, that was not where that was supposed to be.
Who?
And we noticed because we were about like 10 minutes early to the movie theater.
Yeah.
There were a lot of previews. The movie didn't start till like 1:45. There's gonna be a lot of really shitty kids movies.
certainly will be.
Like, oh my fucking god, the Addams Family one, horrible.
Yeah, I'm
At
surprised
least
they
the
even made a
Hotel
second one.
The Hotel Transylvania one doesn't look too bad. in
I've
my
seen
opinion.
the first one. I haven't seen the rest of it. I won't see this one either. But
It didn't look that bad. I thought it was interesting. Interesting
looked fine.
concept. But Sing 2,
I didn't know it was
Fuck.
a sing one. As I told
fuck no. If anybody goes and sees that, I hate Illumination Studios. I fucking hate Illumination
These
Studios.
Illumination Studios.
the
Did they
Minions.
make like?
They're the ones that made the Minions.
Did they also make
Pets.
the?
Secret Life of Pets.
What's the? Oh, fuck. The one where it's like this girl's emotions. You know
Oh
what
no,
I'm
that was
talking
Pixar.
about. And what was that called? Fuck, I can't remember the name of it.
Inside Out.
Yes,
That
was
was
Pixar. Oh, I don't like that movie.
Okay,
What'd
here's
you
the
think of
difference.
it?
Okay, the difference between, and I think I share the same sentiment as I hate everything.
Is that a person?
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Illumination Studios, their characters do not look like how their characters are. If their character looks like or is supposed to be a bad guy, they don't look like a bad guy. You know,
Okay.
if a Pixar character is supposed to be a bad guy, you can look at them and say this is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. Same thing with the Space Jam movie. You can tell who was a bad guy. You can tell
Yeah.
that these were the Goon Squad. You could tell that LeBron and the Looney Tunes were the good team, the
Mhm.
Toon Squad. So, but Illumination Studios needs to burn in hell. Like everything about them, like it just screams corporate
Yeah.
corporate shilling and constant marketing, and it needs to fucking stop.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
I hate Illumination Studios, especially because like that Sing 2 looks awful, fucking
yeah.
awful. They like made it
What
seem
did
like it was.
Sing One do well? I don't know. Again, I never even heard of it. Yeah, it was. The movie was fine. I would never
Sing
go see
1
it
came
again.
out in 2016.
Interesting. Wow, really? 2016. Holy shit.
Got a 7.1 and a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, but and somehow a 4.8 out of 5 on Target.
Oh, good. Thank you, Target.
82% of users like this movie, but it's just my frustration with Sing 1 and Sing 2, especially just off the trailer, is that it's basically just Glee, but with animals.
Yeah.
And the animals don't look like how their characters are.
Yeah.
It's just so shitty. I wish bad character is supposed to look bad, good character is supposed to look good.
Mm-hmm.
If every character looks the fucking same, how the fuck are we supposed to know? Because you could look at Gru and look at Vector from Despicable Me, the orange suited guy with the bowl cut. And the
Oh,
glasses.
yeah.
If you were to look at those, you'd say Gru's a bad guy. But then Gru's actually supposed to be the good guy,
Yeah.
even though they're both villains. You'd say, oh, Vector's supposed to be the good guy.
It's a switch.
No, it's just bad design. It's bad character design.
Hey, that's what you want to call it.
It's
If you,
it's
want to call it
awful.
that, then sure.
Like
But I love the Minions, okay?
Sid from Toy Story, bad guy.
Yeah, bad guy. Looks like a bad guy.
Yeah. I think that in animated movies, especially if it's made for kids, you're supposed to kind of convey that. I don't know.
I think there's bad guys in Cars, but there isn't. There kind of is, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of looks like a bad guy. I mean, you get the fact that he's.
I mean, he
guy.
says Kachiga, so.
You got it. You got it.
The green?
He was the green car.
It was the green car.
That bad guy was the green car.
So, Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. I just wish that the NBA players were in a little bit more.
I wish there was more product placement.
There really wasn't too much. I was
There
surprised
wasn't
the security guard one was funny. That whole scene was pretty funny, where the guy's like looking for LeBron. He's like, "Man,
Yeah.
does it say LeBron like Finder on my
Yeah.
name tag?" I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was fine. I was trying to think if there's anything else.
I don't know why, but I still find slapstick humor pretty funny. So anytime
Yeah.
like LeBron James, like he like falls down the canyon and then he's like, "Ouch," and then launches out and then like flattens
That's
out.
when he goes, ah.
Yeah, he's like, "Ah," yeah. And, it was funny because he's just like, "Ouch," and then they use that same clip whenever he hits like the front of like the spaceship. He's like, "Ouch," whenever they're doing
really?
like the training sequence to like get the
Oh, and
fundamentals.
he hits his head.
Yeah, and he's like, "Ouch." Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it just kind of annoyed me with how like cut and sew it seemed from the first one.
Well,
First two Home Alones, they're basically the same movie, just in different places.
same thing with episode of Star Wars, episode 4 and episode 7. Cut and
really?
dry, exactly the same.
Oh, interesting. I haven't watched them that closely to know.
Oh yeah, no, it's like they have a Death Star. They have to go blow it up.
Oh, I
They
see.
get rewarded at the end.
I mean that makes sense. You could say that for a lot of movies.
But I mean, like, it was in the same series.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would rather have this Space Jam than one that was completely different and everybody's torn over like The Last Jedi. I'd rather have that than everybody being like, "Oh, I don't know about this. This is a really bad movie." Then some people will be like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen."
Yeah, but the first one, way better in comparison.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more. There was a lot more slapstick in that one. But
certainly.
there was. I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't hitting with me. There was something where this slapstick, in this day and age, fit my humor a little bit better.
Yeah. The
It
one
was
thing
just
I did
funnier.
want to mention that did get it, we've kind of talked about it, but I didn't talk about what I thought about it, is like there wasn't a lot of product placement, but there was a ton of references to everything Warner Brothers
The
related.
Rick and Morty one was.
Oh my god.
That one wasn't okay. I will say that the way they presented it was funny. That they were that Tasmanian Devil couldn't fit in anywhere else, so they're like, let's bring in Rick and Morty, and then turns out Rick and Morty been experimenting on him, and that he's too crazy for them to work on. That
Hey,
was,
I don't know anything about Rick and Morty, so that's all you. That's all you, boy. That's all you, Doc.
I watched like the first season illegally on YouTube. They were posting it all on YouTube whenever it first came out.
So
Yeah,
keep
I
talking.
wish film. I thought that the Monstars were a little bit too dopey. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? The Monstars were like too dopey in my opinion. They were just kind of like, like they're like they said this whenever they first met Bugs Bunny was that I was like, "Do you think we're stupid?" And then it was like, then they present themselves as stupid for the rest of the movie. It was just kind of like, I mean, I get it, but I think a lot of it's just like old overused jokes, especially if it's from '96. So all this stuff is new and fresh to me as far as Space Jam 2 goes, but LeBron says that he was as short as Kevin Hart whenever he got smashed into the ground. That was okay. That was an okay joke. I think I had seen that in the trailer or something like that. So where it isn't supposed to fit in the trailer to make a joke, but then in the movie that joke is never there.
Yeah.
And they use a sound splice from a different
Yeah, we talked
scene.
about that during trailers.
It was like that's always been my pet peeve because I've like it's basically like they're selling that movie on that one joke that they made in the trailer and it's never in the movie.
Never see it.
And it's just my pet peeve.
No, I agree. Yeah, but the references, like,
Out the wazoo.
the references were worse than if it was product placements. I would have rather had product placements than those references because I was just like, oh my god.
What was one of them that you was besides the Rick and Morty one? I was really funny to see like look at you while everything was happening. But
Yeah, I mean, like, some of them were funny, but I still just like got on my nerves. Like, just any of them, the Mad Max one, the Matrix one, like those were funny, but I'm like, oh my god, this is just like, why are you guys referencing so many other movies?
It was basically Warner Brothers being like, yeah, check out my guns.
It was the Warner Brothers orgy.
They
Even
were
though
like,
Warner
yeah,
Brothers
check
sucks.
check out how big my muscles are.
You know, let me introduce you to my muscles.
Yeah.
Let me get you a ticket to the gun show.
Baby girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That got on my
I
nerves.
thought it was. It did get a little tired sometimes. I think that I'm glad that they didn't like be like, oh hey, the Jetsons are here like at the game.
Yeah.
If they did that, that would have been like totally shameless
Well,
and
like
like
every character showed up
yeah.
from any Warner Brothers anything.
Clockwork
Oh my
Orange.
god, when they went to the Casablanca scene.
That was fucking stupid. I didn't even know Casablanca. I thought Casablanca was in the public domain now.
Probably.
I thought it was, so that's
It's
why
been
I was
around since the 40s.
so that's why I was
45?
like, that's why I was like, oh hey, you know, I thought it was funny because like Yosemite Sam obviously was playing the piano
Yeah.
and couldn't sing. I thought it was funny that like that was his universe. You know,
Yeah.
like, imagine Yosemite Sam being in that universe for so many times.
Well, I'm imagining it.
I think Daffy Duck one was kind of weird because I was expecting like a Batman or somebody to show up a little bit more. It
Yeah.
was Superman
yeah.
for like a brief second. He stopped the train going into the orphanage. I thought that was funny. It was like, the train's gonna go into the orphanage.
And Porky was
Yeah.
filming it.
Yeah, and Porky was filming it. You know, like look how superhero. Because that was just the Looney Tunes trying to fit into their universe, and obviously Porky Pig and Daffy Duck cannot fit into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
It
It was
fun.
it was funny. It was funny. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I got it.
It wasn't good.
No.
It was. If you go in, you're thinking it's stupid, it's gonna be stupid. And
Yeah.
then you're like, okay, this is so stupid, it's funny.
If you want to see it,
Go see it.
go see it for fun.
Or watch it on HBO Max.
Exactly. You don't have to go to the theater.
Because
that-
that was another thing is that the trailers that they're like, you have to watch it in theaters. You
Yeah,
know,
there was
like,
one movie where they're like, only available in the theater. You cannot watch it at home like every other film that's been released. This one's only in the theater.
Yeah.
But I think that pretty much wraps it up for us on the Space Jam.
Jamathon.
Space Jamathon, at least. If you guys want to go watch it, watch them back to back like Gavin and I did, if you have the time to. It was just fun. It was a fun time, fun experience. The bar was closed at AMC. Can't believe we can't get a drink at 1:30. Am I right, motherfuckers?
MacGuffins.
Psh, bastards. I looked at them and I said, "You bastards."
Bastard.
There was a lot more people whenever we left going into the movie.
Well,
than
yeah,
there
because
were.
we went and saw a movie at 1:25.
But yeah, but
But that's because I have to leave here kind of soon. Not really that soon, but yeah. So that was our Space Jamathon. Well, maybe we'll do this sometime soon with another set of movies. I'm assuming we will. This was fun, and I enjoyed doing it. I'm glad it all worked out, and I'm glad we could go and see these movies. If there's more things we think about later on, we'll talk more on other episodes about it. One thing I did want to mention is just like the amount of like I'm not talking about product placement anymore. I'm talking about
references.
no, like stuff they've made to hype up the movie. Like I was at Target yesterday and there was a Space Jam cereal and there's all these toys and there's
They have dog toys.
commercials.
They have dog toys.
Yeah, there's
of
like
Space
Fossil, the watch company, teamed up with them to do Space Jam watches, and like every time I see one, I send it to Gavin because I'm like,
This space and this was a joke I wanted to make was that Jordan did the Space Jam movie because he had to because of his gambling problem and needed to get back into the NBA,
mm-hmm.
and LeBron did it because he wanted to.
Yeah. And Jordan still did a better job, but it's neither here nor there.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
this is a basketball question.
Okay.
Who are
You're
who's
asking
your,
me a basketball
Yeah,
question?
who's
Okay.
your top three
Top three what? Players?
basketball players of all time?
Of all time.
Who's number one? Who's number two? Number three?
I mean, Michael Jordan's number one. I guess number two, I'd have to say LeBron. See, now number three is where I get kind of where I don't really know who would be my number three.
Sidney
Hmm.
Moncrief.
I don't even know who that is.
That's the guy on your poster over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you
Sir
kidding
Sid.
me? Man, I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know what I would put as number three. There's like too many players that I'm like, I don't really know which I like stick out to me like that. So I'll give you two. How about yours?
I'd probably say LeBron, number one.
Oh, interesting.
I like LeBron. I've
Did you
lived,
just say you didn't like LeBron?
I like LeBron, but I'm not like yeah, I'm gonna suck LeBron's dick. Like
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
defend LeBron or like shit on him all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna suck like Michael Jordan's dick all the time.
Same.
But Michael Jordan does have bigger shoes. Anyway, again, that's neither here nor there. But I think LeBron, because I've seen him play, he's been amazing, and he didn't retire twice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, would Jordan have won?
I think Kobe would be my third.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry,
I
just had
think
to say
it
that real
goes
quick.
LeBron, Jordan, and then I think either Kareem or Kobe.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
Kareem is like just unstoppable. He was just unstoppable, and his longevity was just incredible. But yeah, I just never heard anything about that from you. So just curious.
Well, now you heard it.
So one more thing I need to hear from you, Carson.
Let me.
What you been listening to?
Oh, Gavin, am I so glad you asked. Gavin, we do a segment every week on this show called What You Listening To, where we share some things we've been listening to for the past week. And Gavin sometimes uploads it on time, but most of the time he uploads it very late, sometimes the day of recording, which he did today and last week. But we still love him. I'm not going to kick him off the show. Uh-oh. He's out. So this week, Gavin, I am recommending a song. Just a song, not an album. It is a song by the band Under Oath, who I talked about a couple weeks ago. I've talked about many times, but a couple weeks ago I shared an album by them. And this week they just recently, sometime last week, released a single for what I'm hoping will be an upcoming album. They were in the studio probably a couple months back, recording for like a couple weeks. So I'm assuming they're going to release an album here soon, but they're not really like doing any gimmicks for it at all. They just like put this song out and they're like, here you go. Here's a song, which is cool, which I like.
This one's on a new album coming out July 24th.
No, they're just like, here's a song. We hope you like it. Like literally, which I like about, the thing I like about Under Oath is they've like always done what they, even I know you could say this for a lot of people, but they've always done what they wanted to do. And even back when like, you know, record companies were like, nah, we're going to release this as a single. And they were like, well, we really want to do this song as a single. And the record company went with the song that they wanted. And then it would come back that like the song that Under Oath was saying that should be the single ended up being the most popular song. And they were like, you guys need to just listen to us. And then so from there on out, they've always been listened to and gotten exactly what they wanted, which I really like. And I just love this band. It's one of my favorite bands of all time. And the song is called Damn Excuses. And it's just like, you won't like it, but it's just so fucking good. It's just like super heavy. And like, it kind of harkens back to that album that I suggested a couple weeks ago called Disambiguation, where it's just like really heavy, not too many vocals. It's mostly screaming, which I like, but I also like their vocals because their drummer is the vocalist and he has a beautiful voice.
His beautiful screamy voice.
He doesn't scream. The lead vocal guy screams and sings, but the drummer has the best vocals in my opinion. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But so they, excuse me, my organ went off. So they released this song, and I'm just praying that they release an album soon. I was so excited when I saw that they were releasing, when they released this song. And then I was just like, just please be good. Because their last album was really good, but it was kind of different because the singer both write pop music for artists. And so it was a little bit poppier just because that's what they're used to writing. But like this was like, oh yeah, this is them. Like this is what I wanted. And it was just, it's such a good fucking song. And it was just like gave me goosebumps. And I listened to it like 8 times the first time I heard it because I was just like, this is so fucking good. So if you like metalcore, heavy stuff, like I typically suggest, give this song a listen. It's kind of short, which sucks a little bit. I wish it was longer. But it's just really fucking good. It's a good workout song. And yeah, that's what I've been listening to because I've literally listened to it like every single day on repeat.
I've been listening to it to get hammered too.
I've been getting hit in the head with hammers.
Yeah, been hitting sledgehammers on cinder blocks for fun in the backyard.
God bless you.
That's my workout.
That is your workout. Gavin, what do you listen to this week, huh?
This week I am listening to
My jaw hurts. I don't know what's going on with my jaws.
Been talking too much, buddy.
My jaw. And my jaw just falls off. And then you have to take me to the ER.
So I'm recommending this week Drones by Muse, released in 2015. I went and saw them on this tour. They have a really cool anyway, they're really cool and they're really they're the guys
Cool.
who made yeah. Anyway, so this and this album is like, whoop, sorry.
Just go on and let's listen to it.
They have like 3 singles on here. They have Dead Inside, Psycho, and Mercy. I like Reapers, but it's very basic. It's a basic like metal rock song. It's
Okay.
I don't know. It's just very basic, like very 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. It's like I don't know. But the whole album is basically like fuck the man, and don't be part of the system.
I respect that, bro. I respect that, bro.
Yeah, man. Like
Respect
be
that.
against the global government and stuff like that, and
Damn right.
they have a really long song on
Damn
here, but
right.
I really like a couple of their songs. Dead Inside, Psycho, Mercy, Reapers, The Handler, Defector are all good. Watching them live was really good. They have their concerts back then were more of like storytelling.
Do they have cool like stage
Oh, yeah,
props
they were
and stuff?
awesome.
That doesn't
It was
surprise me.
awesome. And
How many people are in that group?
I think 3.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. The bass and techno stuff and drummer. And
Interesting.
drummer does like samples.
That's cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
and but yeah, they're really really. Some people don't like their voice. I like his voice, but
Okay.
I think his name is Matt Bellamy. But yeah,
Matt
great
Maloney.
great band. And I'm pretty sure Matt Bellamy just did something.
Just did something
Yeah, I think he did. Hold
like a solo thing.
on.
He was on an episode of Hot Ones.
Muse's Matt Bellamy bought Jeff Buckley's guitar and recorded a 38-second song available as an NFT.
Okay. Why not, right? Why not? If you buy Jeff Buckley's guitar, why not do that, huh? Interesting. Kevin's like, how do I buy it? What do you got there?
I'm trying to find what Jeff Buckley did.
You don't know who Jeff Buckley is?
Off the top
Oh,
of my
really?
head.
He's like he's obviously a musician. But he died at a young age. I think
Drowning.
he drowned. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He
Johnny's
did that.
really into Jeff Buckley.
He
I
did
don't know
that.
anything by him, but
So go listen to this album. It's really neat. I like it. It's a little bit more metal, a little bit darker than my usual
Oh.
takes. So
what was the name of it again? Just one more time.
Drones
Sorry.
by
Drones.
Muse.
Okay.
And this
Yeah, let's give
is
it a listen.
great album.
I like stuff like that. Well, let's go and wrap it up because we're definitely like well over an hour 30 now. This edited and used once again with this stupid fucking recording device. So once again, just want to apologize if there is any weird jumps in it. Luckily, it recorded the whole time this time, but I'm assuming there's going to be some jumps in it. So I will do the best I can to fix that, but I apologize if that's there. I'm probably going to buy a new card after I give somebody a call to figure out what this issue could be. So hopefully by next time it'll be fixed, if not the time after. So sorry for that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this special episode Space Jamathon. Sorry if I'm still a little bit spaced out because I am a little like spacey still. So
Bass.
jam. So hopefully next week I'll be back to normal. This fucking thing will be back to normal. Gavin will still be Gavin, and we'll just keep on riding that wave, huh? I'm about to go to Miami, Gavin. How do you feel about me going to Florida?
Excited.
You're excited for me? Thank you so
Mhm.
much. I'm going to get like 2 hours of sleep, if even that. How do you feel about that?
Bad.
I have an Uber coming to pick me up at 4 a.m.
Goodbye, bye.